Good morning. Good morning. A very brief, hey, what's up? And then he's playing with my little coffee piece. Anyways, I am making muffins this morning for breakfast. Actually, can I put you down so I can have both arms so I can do this a bit more efficiently? Put you guys here. So the boys are looking at fireworks for New Year's Eve. We are not allowed to have, we're not allowed. My skin is so dark compared to yours and compared to my skin is so dark compared to yours and Elliot's. Hi, Elliot. Okay, I am almost done. In Berlin, we're not allowed to have big fireworks, but thank you. Linnea, I've got some. Thanks, Callum. Callum had my scissors, and I need it for my baking paper. We're not allowed to shoot off big fireworks. I mean, Roman and I don't typically do that anyways, but they are not allowed in Berlin due to COVID, and if there are accidents, we already have full hospitals. Anyways, Roman wants to pick up some little like sparkler type things for the kids because those are being sold, like little small handheld things. You know, people still need to be careful because it is fire, but the risk is lower than those really big ones. So we're definitely going to do some if Roman can find them, because obviously since they're not doing big fireworks and everyone's buying all the little sparkler type things, but we are going to get a few of those. We'll try to. Last year was really fun because it was our last New Year's Eve with just Callum and Linnea, and they were both older, so they both you know, they could hang out for the first time rather than like needing to worry about bedtimes and all that kind of stuff, trying to keep them awake and like them getting overtired and stuff. They were really fun to be around, and it was just it was fun and exciting knowing that we were about to welcome Elliot in a few short months and weeks actually. I gotta check on these muffins now, they might be done. There we go. We're gonna keep this very basic fruit salad today. These are some legit muffins. Callum's is open on the inside. Look at that goodness. How is it, Callum?
Good.
Good. Linnea's doesn't have any blueberries in hers. Have you tried yours? And?
Good.
It's good?
Just ate the top.
You just ate the top. You know, there are places where you can just buy the muffin tops.
Hey. Boy.
How's your breakfast? Elliot's got blueberry oatmeal bites. Mmm. Good morning. You gonna go to the playground today?
Today's spirit.
Today, are you gonna play Spirit at the playground?
Yeah.
Linnea, you almost ready, sweetie?
Yeah.
All right, are you nice and cozy? Little baby burrito. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna go bye-bye. You ready to go to the playground? We gotta get your hat on. Hey everybody. So, I'm so happy because everyone's gone. Everyone's gone. And I know that sounds really bad, but moms, you get it. Okay, turn the light off. I'm gonna sit and do some laundry, and I'm gonna start folding some clothes and put things away and start cleaning up. Also probably start putting together Christmas things that are like hanging around, like little things that are hanging around, and give things a good clean. It's time for that. And it's nice to do that while the kids are not at home because all they do is make a mess. I think we are feeling very cramped and claustrophobic, having 3 kids taking up space and their toys and their stuff, and it feels different than it was when Elliot was a newborn and basically had nothing. Like, we didn't buy anything. We didn't have a changing table for him. We didn't, like, he slept in our room, so he didn't need his own space. I just changed him on this like foldable changing pad, and I rolled out a blanket over it to make it cozy for him as a baby. But, you know, he never had stuff. He didn't have toys. He played with like little rattles here and there, which could be just thrown into a box into a little basket that didn't take up extra space. But now, you know, he's getting older and he's moving and he's putting things in his mouth and he's just consuming more in every way in terms of entertainment and food and space. And he's a person. He's his own person. And I think it just feels very cramped. I mean, it did anyways with just Callum and Linnea. We know other people that live in similar sized apartments that have 2 kids, and it's like, you know, that's the norm. I think having 3 kids just feels like a whole different ball game in every way. My goal, my New Year's resolution is getting our family into a bigger home. There are 2 things that I want to do that I think are really important. One of them being, I want to get my hormone health under control, because I know my hormones are not okay right now. I know how hard it is to lose weight. I just feel like my hormones and my lipedema have exploded after having Elliot, and it was a huge shift for me after having Callum. That was like the first big, oh my gosh, you know, my body is so different than what it was before having kids. After having Linnea, my body went back, and I mean, I say back, but you know what I mean. Like I lost a lot of baby weight. I wouldn't say it was effortless, because I definitely had to diet and watch what I was eating. I was also walking a lot, obviously living in London without a car. But I would say that a year postpartum with Linnea, I was actually thinner than I was after I had Callum. And when I look back at vlogs of a year after Callum and a year after Linnea, you would not be able to tell a difference. Like, my body it felt like, okay, this is my new postpartum body. And it was different from having kids, but I didn't feel like my body was not mine. I felt in control of what my body was doing and what it looked like and how I felt. This time around, I just feel completely out of control. I thought for sure at the 6-month mark that I would just start slowly losing weight, and I haven't. I haven't lost any weight since having... I haven't lost any weight, even just watching what I'm eating and exercising and staying active. And it's not really about weight, but it also kind of is, because I just don't feel well. I feel frustrated that I have 3 kids that I desperately need to keep up with, and I just feel really tired, and I don't feel good in my skin. And part of that is my lipedema, because my legs are bigger, my thighs are bigger, my arms are bigger, just everything is bigger that wasn't before. My goal is to get my hormone health under control, because I know a lot of this is due to hormones. I know it, and I want to work with somebody. I am cautious about the doctor I go to, because I don't... Okay. This is taking a whole different turn. I'm gonna sit down for this one. After I had Callum and I was struggling with losing weight, I was, I think, 4 months postpartum. I had already been to my OB, already stressed the problem, the stress of not being able to lose weight and feeling out of control, and just, I had talked to her about a lot of things, and she referred me. She said that I needed to see like an endocrinologist. I found a doctor that was closer to where we lived, who was an OB himself. He was an obstetrician himself. He also specialized in hormones as an endocrinologist. So it was like, for me, he should have been a blessing. And I will never forget when I saw him and I was in tears about the weight that I had gained and my body. And at this point, I was undiagnosed with lipedema. He literally just said, you just need to eat less and work out more. There was no like testing, there was no words of encouragement or words of support as a doctor, or okay, I hear that you're not feeling well. I see that you're not well. Let's get to the bottom of this. No investigative medicine. There was no care or concern about me as a patient or a person. And I will never forget the feeling that I had when I walked out of his office that day with Callum in his little car seat. I broke, and I don't think I was ever the same after that, because I no longer felt like, I just didn't feel like anybody cared. And I didn't feel like I was worthy or that I was important enough to fight for. And I've been struggling with that feeling ever since. Luckily, it was shortly after that, after another appointment with my OB, that she referred me to this lymph system in Baden-Württemberg, this lymph system of specialists who specialized in the lymph system. And it was shortly after that I was diagnosed by a doctor in Schorndorf, actually. And this doctor is the one that diagnosed me with lipedema. And I will never forget that feeling that, okay, so I have this problem that will never go away. It's genetic, it sucks, but now I know that it's not my fault. And there are a lot of things that I also struggle with. Thyroid issues in my family. I myself have had thyroid issues. I'm not currently on any medication for thyroid. So I've been putting off a lot of that just because I have not felt like I'm worth it. And I don't want anyone to take this as complaining, because I'm not complaining. This is just the state of my life right now. I am so overwhelmed by the day-to-day life with my 3 kids, and especially in a pandemic. And you know, Roman can't just take them to the swimming pool and entertain them. Their entertainment is here at home. Like, this is it this year. This is all it has been. So because the kids are not used to constantly being at home, the energy is insane. It is so much energy on top of trying to take care of Elliot. And this first year is so critical for him in terms of his emotional development that I have sacrificed myself. And I think moms do that a lot. I talk about this a lot. This is not something that will just like with the snap of my fingers change and suddenly I matter to myself. I have to fight for myself, and I'm struggling with that. The fact that I'm also very nervous about being in close contact with doctors right now during COVID, and I put my kids' needs before myself. So if Elliot needs to go to the doctor, I have no problems going to the doctor for him, but for myself, I put it on the back burner. I also need to go to the dentist because I'm sure I've got cavities, but I don't want to go to the dentist while our COVID numbers are as high as they are. The fact is we're 2 parents with 3 kids and no village around us. We don't have a daycare for Elliot. I mean, we do. We actually have a kindergarten for Linnea and she can't even go. So it's like, it's having a baby in the midst of a pandemic, and all the things that I probably could have done after having Callum or Linnea, I just can't do right now. And I'm also just fighting with myself to do things that are good for me. You know, I would love to go back to school and get my master's, and I would love to do a lot of things that are good for myself, but I just feel like I don't have a lot of support to really say, you know what, Katie, you're worth it. You're worth it. And you should do those things. I think that's why I miss my friends in London so much, because they were just always on my team. You know, they were just so supportive of me. And they were moms too. And they were like, they were always just building me up and always telling me how worth it I am. I also built them up because I feel that they are worth it. And they did the same for me. And it was like a sisterhood, free of ego and just full of love and full of support. And we were all raising our kids together and so supportive of what we all wanted to do. And I've never felt more alive. So I want to see an endocrinologist here in Berlin, but I'm also very, very, very skeptical about the person that I see. So I've been spending the last few weeks of really researching somebody, and then once things start settling down and I feel a bit more comfortable going into a doctor's office, then I'm gonna make an appointment, because my hormone health is very important to me and it's one of my goals this year. I'm making my health a goal this year, which I've never really done before. It's always been, well, you know, we have a baby coming this year, so adjusting as a family, or getting Callum adjusted to school, or getting Linnea situated in kindergarten, or just all kinds of things, or moving. I mean, moving to Berlin, or moving to London, or getting Callum in reception, and just, there's always been big family things. And I have the goal of taking care of myself this year and getting my hormones under control so that I'm a healthier mom, a healthier wife, most of all, a healthier me. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to get our family in a bigger home. Come hell or high water, we need more space. We just need more space. It's just so hard. It's so hard. We're all grouchy because nobody gets any time away. The house is always a mess. And it's not because we have crazy amounts of things. It's because a few toys laying out in a big space does not feel like mess. But a few toys by each child on the floor in 100 square meters is a big deal. So this is kind of something that Roman and I are a bit at odds over, because he's much more, and this is, I think, cultural. I think it's also the difference in our personalities, where I'm a risk taker. I'm the one that's like, hey, let's do this. We need to do it. This is a good deal. Jump on it. Do it. Roman is the one that's like, well, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Let's think. It's a lot of money. Let's wait. But then, as I have seen this year, that then all of those good deals that would be good for our family, all those good deals get taken, and we're still left like scratching our heads thinking, well, what do we do? What do we do? And it's almost like he doesn't want to act until it's too late. And I'm just not like that. I'm like, hey, we have to do something. And don't get me wrong, I understand I mean, it is anxiety inducing when you think about having a mortgage and all that stuff, but I also think we don't have many other options, because renting a space that's big enough for us is more than a house payment here in Berlin. It's just time. It's time. It's time to pull the trigger, and it's time to buy something. It's time to make this a priority. So those are my 2 goals for the year. And I didn't plan on sitting and doing this kind of vlog, especially with, you know, clean laundry behind me. But this is real life. This is real life. And I had a moment and I just started talking, and now you have it. Now you know. But I want to know what some of your goals are. I want to know what your resolutions are. I know it's kind of weird. I think everyone's a little like, what should we expect? And we're still in a pandemic, even though the calendar changes to a new year. COVID doesn't just go away like that, unfortunately, but I'm hopeful that it will be, I don't want to say better, because 2020 was great for our family. I feel strange saying that, considering I know people personally have lost so much in this year, but 2020 brought us Elliot, and it's impossible for it to be a bad year for me, considering it gave me my son, that little boy. I love him so much, and I'm so glad that he's in our family. Look what came in. Linnea's rug and a book that Elliot put on the floor. I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna put that somewhere else. I just think it's too dark, a bit too mature for this little space right here, which is more light and bright. But this little side is coming together. It's very, very soft and cozy, and our little unicorn friend here. I wanted the rug to be long enough so that her bed would fit, but also allow some space for her little dollhouse so that she can sit and play on the rug with her dollhouse and not on the floor. So I'm happy. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and the rug is really pretty. Hey, little man. This rug is just really pretty. It's got pretty golds and like blues and turquoises and of course pink. And so it's just really pretty, really, really pretty. And I like the pattern, and I'm really happy with it. This is what she wanted, and it's great. So yeah, Callum's, we haven't really gotten started on. His room is gonna be the next one that we tackle. The next room, you know what I mean. The kids love having the dividers in between. They both feel like they own their spaces, which is absolutely what we wanted for them. We wanted them to feel like they had their space because everything up until this point was just shared space. It worked out well when Linnea was just transitioning to a big girl bed, and it was nice for her to have her big brother next to her. But now that she's a little bit older and she's in kindergarten, I think she just wants her own space. So this isn't permanent, but what's good is that every single thing can easily transfer to a new room. And yeah. And I got the rug thinking that it would be a good size in a future room. This is a good transition. It's a good next step. The next will be getting focusing on Callum's room, and I'm excited to really get his Legos and stuff put together. That's a fun sound.